Have I been a good boy this year? Yeah, well I hope so, because this is my FPL Christmas shopping list. Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. It's the festive season, and with that in mind, I've put together my top 10 players. So this is top 10 players on my wish list. Some of those a dead cert will be in my team in the next couple of weeks. Some of those are likely to come in, and some of those are perhaps a distant dream, but I would love to accommodate if I can. So let's go through my top 10. But before we do, I guess I should quickly just flash up my actual team. So of course, we're not talking about players that I currently own. So all these guys in show, yeah, they're not on my wish list. Many of them, I think, are great picks for the festive season. But let's kick off with those players I want to target and start with the bracket coming into my team very, very soon. And top of that list for me is Bryan Mbeumo. He's been brilliant this season. The stats simply do not lie. The stats are so good. And when you look at all midfielders in the game, and you look, Mbeumo's on pens, right? But let's take away penalties. He scored 3 this season, same as Mo Salah. Let's take penalties off this and still look at the numbers. So the non-penalty XG, straight away, Salah's top of the charts, 5.92. And Mbeumo is second, 5.62. He's almost putting up Salah numbers. This is of all midfielders, and he's so cheap. Under 7 million for the Brentford man. Since Ivan Toney's come out of that team, Mbeumo has stepped into that main role, right? Sometimes he plays up front in a 2, sometimes he plays wide right in a 3. Different systems, but regardless of the shape, Brentford always put up good numbers in terms of big chance creation. And those big chances used to fall to Toney, a lot of them. Now a lot of them fall to Mbeumo. Bowen, by the way, is third in this table and Son is fourth. All these numbers are from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Do check Scout out, by the way. So look, when we look at the goal involvements from all those players, Salah top of the charts, as you'd expect. Bryan Mbeumo's got 8 goal involvements. His non-penalty XG is 5.62, and he's got 3 pens on there. So he's slightly underachieving, but the big chances have fallen his way. He is converting them. Oh, and by the way, the fixtures are so good for him because, okay, it's Arsenal at home this game week, which I don't hate. I don't love. I don't hate. But then when you move forward to game week 14, 15, and 16, check this run out. Luton, Brighton, Sheffield United, and actually Aston Villa in 17. Then he blanks in 18, but if you can carry him through that, he'll likely double again in 20, because that blank between Brentford and Man City should be rescheduled early. Many forecasters think it will be in game week 20. So Mbeumo is the top of my list, and there'll be many out there that are looking to sell Matoma this week. So almost a like for like. You might have to find a few pennies. So who else is coming into my team very soon? Well, look, a cheaper defender. Like, I'm not going to put a player on this just yet because there's no one I absolutely love, like Livramento possibly, Maguire possibly. This is someone who can come in and play a handful of games over the festive period, perhaps 1 or 2 starts. I'll need the money, as I mentioned, if I want to go in Mbeumo. Maybe a Matty Cash comes down to one of these guys that can play this week, but not every week. And Maguire rotates quite well with Lascelles. So if you're looking for a defender 4 and 3 rotation there, if we think Lascelles is going to be in the team for a long time, then Lascelles-Maguire could be a nice partnership, one always in the starting 11. But more exciting picks coming up. Coming in to my team very soon. I've got 2 more players for you. They both play for Chelsea. Chelsea are looking good, aren't they? Chelsea weren't really an FPL team a couple of weeks ago. We were like, oh, they're low scoring. They've got tough fixtures. But what they've done all season is they've looked good at the back. And now what they're doing is scoring goals. 4 against Spurs, 4 against Man City. The tough fixtures are still there. But come game week 16, again, I just mentioned the fixtures for Brentford. I don't think any team has better fixtures from game week 16, however, than Chelsea. Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Palace, Fulham, all over the festive season. So with that in mind, Reece James, I can't remember you being this lowly priced. Yes, injuries are a thing. But he's only injured when he's injured, and we get this thing called a transfer every week. I'll ship Reece James out when he gets injured. And it probably is a when, not an if. But they're only playing once a week at the moment, Chelsea. And through the festive season, the fixtures are a little kinder this year, and I think his minutes will be managed. He didn't go up for the England squad. He pulled himself out of that, rightly so. He's working on his personal development plan. He's on a rehab plan. And with that, Reece James, I think, is going to be fairly fresh. Fingers crossed for him, because if he stays fit, we know what he does with FPL. And actually, there's not an upside defender in the game this season, other than, say, Trippier, that's been performing, that can match Trippier, and that is Reece James only. That is Reece James only. So at that price, 5.3, he'll be on my team very soon, I am sure. And then joining him in the midfield, you look at Palmer. Like Cole Palmer, yes, he's been getting tons of penalties, but the underlying numbers are also there. His chance creation's massive. He's a gift. Cole Palmer should be an 8.5 million asset. Next season, maybe he will be. He's playing like an 8.5 million asset. Cole Palmer, I'd need him in my team very, very soon. And again, probably around 16 for those fixtures. So look, there are 4 players I think will be in my team very soon. I've got 2 free transfers, and 2 of those are likely to come in this week. I'll talk more in my team selection video on Friday. But what about the players that I'm unsure if I'll buy, but I would love them in? And then what about the want, but likely have other priorities? So there's 2 different categories here, and I've got 3 players in each of them. You might agree with me, and let me know in the comments if you do. And guys, thank you so much for hitting that like button nice and early in the video. That is awesome. Appreciate your support. Those likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Look, I said about James and Palmer, there's one more Chelsea lad, which is going to be in the new bracket of want, but unsure if I'll buy, and that's Raheem Sterling. I see Sterling as a really nice differential punt. Like, everyone's going to have Cole Palmer. Maybe you go for 2 Chelsea midfield within fixtures are right. Sterling has got a point to prove. Left out of the England squad, arguably playing his best football in 3-4 seasons. I thought man of the match against Man City. Definitely his best football in a Chelsea shirt. Raheem Sterling is looking good. Again, I can't remember him being this cheap in FPL. So cheap, isn't he? And he's really differential as well. He's 6.9% owned, 7.4 million. I could see myself taking a punt on Raz. I really could. He's a bit of a flat track bully as well. When the opponent's right, you back him to get points, and he often does, like when he's playing a really poor team. Let's move away from Chelsea and look at Liverpool and Crystal Palace, because there's 2 players here that I really want to get in, and I don't know if I'm going to reach them up. There's a good chance one, if not one, gets into my team over this festive period. And when I'm talking about the festive period, I'm talking about like now up into like the Boxing Day, or no, even the New Year's fixtures. Darwin. We all know the pluses. Starting now for Liverpool. Liverpool are one of the best 2-3 attacks at the moment in the league. Huge chance volume. Like, more chances drop his way than any other player in the game, pretty much. The negatives are often can't hit a barn door. Frustrating to own. But also, in a ton of fixtures, I sometimes question, is Darwin going to play every minute? Probably not nailed, not a 90-minute man over the festive period. Does that matter too much if he plays 2 in 3 or 3 in 4 starts? Probably not. Looked great for Uruguay in the international break. Darwin's a fun own. The problem with Darwin right now is he plays Man City off the back of the international break in the early kickoff. Does he start off the back of a South America journey? And then he has, when the fixtures look really good, the game week 14, 15-ish, I think he plays Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's like 3 games in 6 days. So again, I look at that and go, oh, from those 3 easy fixtures, does he just start 2 of them? So I'm a little bit unsure about Darwin, but he's an obvious replacement for those that want to get off Watkins and onto a Darwin. What about Eze? Crystal Palace talisman. We love Eze. The fixtures, he's got a couple more good ones before they turn. But if you want to hop on someone now, Eze could be the pick. The fixtures are really good. Like, it's Luton this weekend. And since he's been back from that injury, only 2 games, notched returns in both of them. On penalties too. Like, Palace aren't the most exciting team for goals, but when they score, you know Eze is going to be involved. What about the players that I want, but I'll probably have other fires, other priorities? There's 3 of them. Jared Bowen. Like, we know what Bowen can do. Over the festive period, we want 90-minute men. Bowen will be that. When he's fit, Bowen will be that. And West Ham have good fixtures. He'll also probably be playing up front because Antonio's out for a couple of months. And his numbers are better when he plays as number 9 than when he plays out on the right. And that's not always the case for wide men. Look at Sterling or Rashford. When they play number 9, you're like, no, go back out wide. Bowen's numbers are actually better down the middle. And they're really good out wide. Pedro Porro, I think Spurs' upside is there. A couple of tricky fixtures. But then for the second half of the festive period, I see upside in Porro, like very few defenders, like Trippier, Reece James, Porro. they're kind of up there at the moment. So whilst I'm not expecting too many clean sheets yet, Porro will get some. And then in goal, David Raya, anyone? Honestly, like, I'm not saying I think Raya's been great at Arsenal. He's been poor. But if Arteta continues to pick Raya, which he will, he's showing us this. He can play poorly and still be in the team. You get an Arsenal goalkeeper that's going to get save points. You get an Arsenal goalkeeper that's going to get a ton of clean sheets, and he's under 5 million. It's an easy additional route to the Arsenal defence. And I don't think many of us want double Arsenal attack. So we're not even blocking ourselves from that third Arsenal player. If you go, I want Martinelli or Jesus this week. If you've got Saka and you've got Gabriel, the additional player, the third asset there, could be a Raya or a Saliba, a defender. I think it could be. And I'm even, when I said cheap defender at the top of the show, when looking at coming in soon, I'm like, I don't really love Maguire or Livramento. If I think Tomiyasu's going to get some starts, I could go Tomiyasu, for example, 4.5 million. The Arsenal defence is top 2 in the league. That's so good. So Raya, why the hell not? So that are 10 players I really like the look of over the festive season. How many of them will be in my team? Well, stay tuned to my videos and you'll see. But I think 2 of them might be coming in this week. Guys, if you've enjoyed the show, then do please hit the like and subscribe button on the way out. I'll be back later this week with loads more content. I'll see you.